Hey guys, so today I'm going to make another informative video for you. I really enjoy making these videos, sharing information and knowledge, and this one is going to be on how to research World War II uniforms, U.S. uniforms. And basically what I'm going to do is show you some of the books here on the table and resources and everything. I've even got my laptop here, just the things that I use to search and learn about maybe the owner of the uniform or jacket that I recently picked up, or maybe I've even had in my collection for a while. And it's basically going to be based off of the laundry number or serial number. For those of you that don't know, the Department of Defense issues each service member a serial number. And then what a laundry number is it's going to be a letter with 4 numbers. And the letter is the first initial or first letter of the person's last name. So if a person's last name is Smith, then it's going to be a S. And then the 4 digits are going to be the last 4 numbers of that service member's serial number that has been issued to them. So it could be S1234 or G8961. But again, if you see that in any of your uniforms or even on some gear, sometimes soldiers would mark their gear, their helmets or whatever it may be, and you would see, again, you'd see 1 letter and you'd see 4 numbers after that. So again, the letter is the first letter of their last name, and then the 4 numbers is the last 4 numbers of their serial number. And so I've got one uniform here on the table. Again, I've got some reference books, my laptop, and a few papers here. And I want to show you guys what John Boy uses to research laundry numbers and or serial numbers to try to find out information about the soldier that owned this jacket. Or again, it could have been other gear that's marked with the same information as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring you in and let's get started. All right, so as you see, I have one World War II. This is actually a dress jacket. I've got 5 books here and a little bit of paperwork. And I'll go ahead and show you these books here. These are great books, great reference information or books, to gain information. I've got these 2 here that are awesome about the M1 helmet. I made a couple videos probably about 6 years or so ago on how to, to date or, World War II, World War I helmets, or even post-World War II. And for those of you guys that want information about learning about, heat stamps or heat lot numbers or lot of steel numbers, they're called different things. But I'll put those couple videos in the link in the description of this video so you can watch those. They're very informative. But again, these are just really good books here if you want to learn about, M1 helmets, M1 helmet liners and everything. So definitely pick up this book by Mark Reynosa, the M1 helmet, and then Helmets of the ETO. And it's got a couple guys here, Regis Giard and Frederick Blaise. If I pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry, but great books there. I also use these books here as well. The United States Military Patch Guide. This is a great book by J.L. Pete Morgan. Very cool book on patches. This one right here, U.S. Military Medals, 1939-1994, by Colonel Frank Foster and Mr. Lawrence Bortz. This is a very good book here on medals. And then this right here is this is an amazing book. I use it all the time, probably more than any of the other books. Finding Your Father's War by Jonathan Gaughan. This right here goes over patches. This goes over all the military units, medals, collar disc, ranks. It's just jam-packed full of information and stuff. And this is an amazing book. I've had it for several years now. See, there's wings, again, patches, units, different decorations and awards. And you guys have got to get this book here, Finding Your Father's War. It is an amazing research tool to have in your arsenal, your research arsenal. Great information, as well as all of them as a whole. And there's other books out there as well, and other resource materials that give great information. But something I can tell you, though, is, reference books and materials very important to have. You need to educate yourself on the items that you want to collect, because knowledge is power. So spend time gaining an understanding of what you want to collect exactly. Most, long-term collectors will tell you that over the years, there's always that possibility that you could get, unfortunately, taken advantage of, or maybe the seller and you being the buyer didn't really understand what the item was, and maybe you overpaid or you got burned on something. I'm pretty sure most of the long-term collectors have had that happen to us. I can tell you I've had it happen to me. I've been collecting probably almost 17 years or so now. But the more knowledge and understanding you have, the less of a chance that you might get into a situation where you actually, you get into like a bad deal or something. But it happens, I'd say, to the most everybody. It's just a learning curve. You want to learn from issues like that you unfortunately find yourself in. But you don't want it to make it a habit. But nobody knows everything. There's always more to learn and stuff. But again, the more you know up front, the better chance it can prevent you from, spending money on something that you really wouldn't want to. But again, reference books are great. These are good books. There's other good books. I'm kind of reading over my notes here. I always kind of scribble talking points. But I'll go ahead and show you this over here now. I actually found this recently. This is Amy Johnson Crow, and she's an excellent person on genealogy and history and researching families and just different things. So check out Amy Johnson Crow there. And what I wanted to show you, when it comes to an Army serial number, it talks about the first digits, right? And she did really well with this. So the first character, it says, gives us a lot of information. So with, again, a soldier's serial number, number 1 means enlisted, right? They volunteered. They didn't draft. So if you've got a dog tag, with the serial number on it, or a uniform with the full serial number starts with number 1, they enlisted. Number 2, it says federally recognized National Guard. Number 3 and 4, they were drafted. So they didn't enlist, they were drafted. It says O, not the letter O. The letter O, not a 0, is a male commissioned officer. W is a male warrant officer. Then you got T, flight officer. L, commissioned officers of the WAC. V, WAC warrant officers. A, WAC enlisted women. R, hospital dietitians. M, physical therapy aides. So that kind of gives you some information there on, your dog tag, or, your serial number, for example. And then look at the second number. Again, you have an 8-digit serial number, right? Then it says, let me just go down here. Number 1, if your second number is a 1, then that person was evidently from these states here, or they registered in these states or enlisted in these states. So number 1, and then number 2, again, you got a different set of states there. And then you go into number 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. And so if you guys haven't already, y'all follow me on my John Boy Military Facebook page. And I'll put this information on there as well. That way I don't spend too much time right now just kind of panning these papers. But y'all also follow me on my John Boy Instagram. I post pictures of my collection. Sometimes random little silly meme pictures or whatever else, but other times informative things. And so y'all follow me there and I'll have this information. But right here I've got a World War II dress jacket, and what I wanted to show you guys, again, if you're new to this or have never understood what I was talking about just a little while ago, see, you've got the letter H, and then there's 5590, and it's basically stamped in there. It's also written right here as well. So again, the H, whoever owned this uniform, this jacket, their last name started with the letter H. 5590, those are the last 4 digits of their serial number that was issued to them by the Department of Defense. So again, this could be Harrison or Henderson or who knows what, right? And then 5590. But at least you have a laundry number, so that can kind of help you maybe potentially try to find who this belonged to. Now, we always hope that an item we add to our collection has a ton of information attached to it. It has a soldier's full name, first and last name, their middle initial, if they're a junior or senior or a third. It has their full Army serial number and their laundry number. And, sometimes the guys would mark their jackets with just a ton of information. Sometimes it wouldn't be anything at all, But always look in the pockets. I even flip up the underside of the pockets here because sometimes there's information there. Always check inside the shoulders, inside the left and right shoulders, because there could be information in there. I'll even flip this up here and look under the underside. I look absolutely everywhere in hopes to find as much information about this service member as I possibly can, because it can help me narrow down who it might have belonged to. Because this H5590, there could have been 10,000 service members with the same serial number, because you think about how many people were in the armed forces. There was over 10 million, I believe the number was, in World War II. And so there could be so many people with H5590. I mean, it could be a lot. It could be hundreds, if not, a few thousands that you're looking for. Especially like the name Smith. I mentioned that earlier. Like, say this was a S5590. You might look up that laundry number and you're like, oh my gosh, there's 2,000 people with that laundry number. And basically what the laundry number was, I should have told you in the beginning, but so whenever the soldiers would have their laundry done, or even if their equipment was getting repaired or just put on a ship to be shipped somewhere or transferred on a truck or something, it was a way of identifying exactly what items belonged to which soldier. If not, then the guys would just be digging through who knows how many piles of helmets or gear or uniforms trying to figure out exactly what their uniform was. Whereas if it was marked with their serial number, then or laundry number, it would be easy to know whose it was. But I did mention, there could have been a lot of people with the same laundry number, but it was very unlikely that within the same, company or unit that two guys within those 150 to 300 guys would have the exact same laundry number compared to, again, everybody in the entire armed forces during World War II. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I want to bring you in now. I'm going to set up my laptop here and I want to show you some websites that I use and resources and ways that I go about trying to research laundry numbers and uniforms. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in now. Okay, so here I am now sitting with my laptop in front of me. And what I wanted to show you guys is I'm actually on a website called World War II Enlistment.com. I'm just going to hold this up. Y'all bear with me. I'm kind of doing something different out of the norm here. So again, you see World War II Enlistment.com right here. This is a website I go to all the time. And I've actually already got my World War II veteran friend, Mr. Littlejohn, pulled up. But I'm going to go back to the search here and start from the beginning and show you guys. Actually, I'm going to go to the home page. So you see there's almost 9 million records, and it does say U.S. Army enlistment. So this wouldn't be Navy guys and Marine guys. This is Army. But if you see right here, it says surname, which would be their last name, or you can search by their Army serial number or their laundry number. And so just for example, I'm going to do the surname, which would be the last name, right? So my veteran friend, I'm going to go in here. His last name was Littlejohn. And I'm going to go to the search right here and click search. And again, you can do laundry number or serial number. And as you see, the results pulled up 404 records. So 404 service members that had the name Littlejohn, at least that are on file. I mean, there could have been more. And it starts in alphabetical order. So I know I need to get to the letter E's. And so I'm going to go up here and just kind of keep skipping until I get to E's. I actually went a little too far. So I'm going to go back and let's see. And see if I can find him. So this should be the right page. So I'm going to scroll down and try to find Elvin W. Littlejohn. And look right there. There he is. Elvin, W's for right, Littlejohn from Lafayette, Mississippi. It shows the day he enlisted, his birth year, which something I can tell you, sometimes the birth year and enlistment days are not correct. I don't know if family members or other people just mistakenly put in wrong information, but usually it is right as far as what I've found over the years. But I'm going to click right here, view. And most of the time, there's not going to be a profile picture of that soldier. And this website here is just most of the time, like 99% of the time, just going to give you basic information. Every once in a while, I'll find a ton of information in here, but this is kind of just a starting point. And so, again, this shows Elvin Wright Littlejohn, his serial number 344-73765. And so if I had his uniform or if I had something of his laundry number would have been L for Littlejohn and then 3765. So again, his uniform, it could have been helmet or whatever he might have put his laundry number on. Again, his gear of any type, it would have been L3765. And again, date of enlistment, place of enlistment, Camp Shelby, Mississippi. Birth year, high school years, what he did, as a civilian occupation, and if he's married or not, just kind of some basic information there. So again, that's a starting point. And then another website that I use is called Find a Grave. I use this all the time, and I see I've already got him pulled up, but I'm going to go back to the beginning. So findagrave.com, and you go into it, and then it'll ask for first name, middle, last name. The more information you have about that service member, the better chance you can narrow down the search and find them. It doesn't always work out, but it definitely helps. And so I'm going to type in his name, Elvin. It could be the middle initial, or it could be the last. I'm sorry, the full middle name, but Elvin W. Littlejohn. Year born, I know he was born in 1922. Year died, I know he died in 2021. He was 99 years old. Cemetery location, I know where it is, but I've got enough information in here where I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And look, one matching record. So out of all the records on Find a Grave with Elvin W. Littlejohn and the birth and death year, this was the only place, the only record that could be found in the whole site. And so, and I know that's him, of course, so I'm going to click on it. And actually, that picture there I put on here because at the time there was no picture on his Find a Grave page here. And if you scroll down, there's another page of his right there. And another picture on this page, and there's another one. And I actually put all three of those on here, so it wasn't just a blank image, right? Sometimes it'll be a picture of themselves. Sometimes it'll be a picture of their obituary in the newspaper. Sometimes it'll be a picture of their grave marker or headstone. But again, I wanted those pictures of my buddy in there. And so again, there's his birthday, April 5th, 1922. He died June 25th, 21. He was 99, Tennessee, where he's buried and all that kind of stuff. And you see it mentions here a little bit about his, information, not just a whole lot. It'll even tell you family members and so forth. So again, Find a Grave is a very useful website to locate information. Just like the first one I showed you, World War II enlistment records, or enlistment.com. And you can, bounce around between these different websites, and you can put pieces together to the puzzle or information you're trying to find. Sometimes it does take a lot of digging and a lot of time, maybe even hours or days or weeks to research things. But I use those two sites a lot. Just like this next one here I'm going to show you. Let me go back to the home page. I'm on Ancestry. Now, Ancestry, you can do a free trial, but you do have to have like a membership. And honestly, I don't have the big heavy duty, or whatever you want to call it, membership where I have access to just billions of records or whatever. I have kind of just the basic plan. But normally what I do if I'm researching a soldier is again with my account, I'll go right here to search, and I just go to military. And then if I ask for first and middle name, right? So again, I'm going to do my buddy, Elvin. It's like Elvis, but it's Elvin. And then his middle name was Wright. And then the last name, I spelled a little wrong. Littlejohn, right? And then birth year, I'm going to put 1922. And you can do, the day and the month as well, but 2021 is when he died. And, I'm going to go ahead and search based off of that information, but I do have more I could plug in if I needed to. And so I'm waiting on this. And then it's not always going to pull up your person right away, because again, there could be 40 guys named Elvin Littlejohn, born different birth years and dates and stuff, or and they die different times or different whatever. So it's not always going to be the very first person that pulls up here. But unfortunately, my veteran friend did pull up, and I know that because there's his full name, his birth year, where he was born, his residence. So I know that's 1,000% correct. So I'm going to click on this first link here, and it pulls up, some basic information about him. He was, 20 at the time when he was when he registered, and then he also was drafted. You see, it shows he registered June 30th of 1942. He was drafted, I believe it was October 21st of 42. It shows, his residence, height, weight, eye color, hair color, next of kin, employer, and so forth. And I'm going to scroll back up here. And it also gives me his draft card right here. So I'm going to click on that. And sometimes when you click on that, it's going to be expanded really large, so you have to kind of minimize it some. But so there he is. This is his registration card for the draft that was filled out. Most of the time, this was filled out by the service member. But I have heard, and if I'm not wrong, I have heard sometimes it was filled out by maybe someone that was with them, because I've even heard some guys, couldn't even read and write. Some service members weren't even taught to read and write. So maybe they would have had to have someone with them to fill out their information correctly while they're present. Again, I've heard that. Can't say 1,000% it's true. But again, this just kind of gives some information about him, where he lives, his birthday, all that kind of stuff. And that's his registration card there. So I'm going to go back to the other screen. And there's different links you can click on here out to the side. There's again, there's the Find a Grave, which we were just there. Censuses from the 30s, 40s, 50s, directories, public records, cemetery, funeral collection, army enlistment, newspapers. There's just so much here that you could continue to gain information about the service member. And another good couple of websites to use is newspapers.com. Honestly, I've done the free trial. I haven't actually bought into the website. That's something I need to do. But that's a good place to find, like newspaper articles and stuff. Another one would be Fold3, the website called Fold3, and there's National Archives if y'all want to write those down. So Fold3, National Archives, newspapers.com, Ancestry.com, Find a Grave, and World War II enlistment records. Those are all some really good places to research. And again, sometimes you'll go on Find a Grave and you could read an obituary and you'll find out information that you didn't see in Ancestry. Or you'll be in the enlistment records and you'll find their serial number that you can match up with some other reference material that you had. And so again, you definitely want to use multiple resources, multiple websites, books, information that you can to put the pieces together of the puzzle that you're trying to build, right? As far as the information wanted or needed for the service members, history of service and maybe their life before and after the military service. But again, I just wanted to put this together. This is what this is what I use all the time. The reference books I had on the table. And like I said, these main three websites are really good. Some of you guys can shout out and talk about other ones that are good as well. So y'all definitely help spread information and help out other collectors. But again, just remember that the laundry number, which is what a lot of people use to start their search for information on a soldier, because a lot of times the whole serial number is not written on an item or not known. If you have a laundry number, then that's definitely a good starting point. Another thing you could think about is, say you go to the World War II, the enlistment records, right? You go to this website here and you have a laundry number, and say you type it in and there's 50 guys with the same laundry number. Well, maybe you can search it by the city or by the state that you purchased that item in. So say, you got an item and it was from a guy from St. Louis, Missouri, and you pull up that laundry number, and there's 50 guys with the same laundry number, S1234, for example, but there's only one service member on file that was from St. Louis, Missouri, then more than likely there's a good chance that's your guy. So that helps you narrow down as well. And again, Find a Grave. The more you know about the person, where they were from, if you know their birthday, if you know their death day, any information you have that you can maybe write down on, or on a notebook like I do. I'm old school, but I do stuff on the computer as well. The more information you have, that's why I say knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more power you have to put together the whole story and learn about that service member. Now, unfortunately, we know they've been collecting for a long time. Unfortunately, if you don't have at least a laundry number, if not a name or a whole serial number, then a lot of times it seems like you're going to be out of luck, unfortunately. But don't ever give up, because honestly, I've had items in my collection that didn't have a name, didn't have a serial number, didn't have a laundry number, but over time I was able to find out 100% who the uniform or the helmet or whatever belonged to, because I got in contact with the family, which can be a good thing or maybe a bad thing, believe it or not. Or just not giving up, because I'm determined to put a name to this item, because most of you guys are like me. You're like John Boy. You collect because it's fun. You're passionate about it. You enjoy the hobby, but you want to, display the items you collect and preserve the memory and keep history alive and honor those that served, because we have a lot to be thankful for, and they deserve, to be appreciated, while they're here alive, while they're still with us, and even after they're gone, so visiting graves is a good thing. doing everything you can to show support, and be a patriot and be thankful for those that have served and sacrificed so much for us. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you guys that are still with me and that do like these full-length videos. But again, check out my John Boy Military Facebook page and my John Boy Military Instagram. And I'm going to put some of this information on those for you guys as well. But please comment. Let me know what you think about this. Please definitely hit that like button, because believe it or not, hitting the thumbs up really does help with traction and bringing traffic and people to my page, as well as sharing this information, if you will, and hitting the notification bells, all that stuff. It really means a lot. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I enjoy, history and making these videos, sharing my collection, come up with new ideas to be fun and everything. But anyways, guys, God bless all of you, and I'll be getting back to you soon.